What's up, Taiwan? I'm Sandy Chi with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's military says a Chinese combat drone has flown around the country's main island. The drone entered the southeastern corner of Taiwan's Air Defense Identification Zone, or ADIZ. It then flew up and around the north of Taiwan. The military says this is the first time a Chinese combat drone has fully encircled the country. 38 Chinese warplanes were also spotted operating around the region in the span of 24 hours. Of those, 19 breached Taiwan's ADIZ. The space is used by the military for security purposes, but isn't part of the country's territory. To better understand the significance of this Chinese incursion into Taiwan's ADIZ, our reporter Jaime Ocon spoke to Ben Lewis, an independent defense analyst based in Washington, D.C.
What can you tell us about the significance of this circumnavigational kind of flight path?
What we saw today was, for the first time publicly, the MND tracked Chinese aircraft circumnavigating Taiwan. It was an unmanned aircraft, a TB-001 UAV, and it flew around over the median line south of Taiwan, around the east of Taiwan, and then to the north, and then back over the median line back to China. So this is something we've never seen before. There was another drone that also kind of did a halfway thing and then came back around. And this is significant because, I mean, like I said, we've never seen it before, but also it's a way for the PLA to test how Taiwan responds to this kind of thing, how the capabilities fare in kind of an extended flight route over water and in a semi-hostile environment. And it's an opportunity for them to collect intelligence on what's going on the east side of Taiwan using this aircraft.
When then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi came to Taiwan, we saw something of a new normal with China increasing median line incursions. Do you think this circumnavigational flight path is the start of another new normal, or what can we see going forward?
Circumnavigation is something that the PLA is going to want to practice to give their pilots an extended flight time. But there's other considerations to be had. I mean, if you're going to circumnavigate Taiwan, there's a strong chance you're going to need air-to-air refueling. So that expands the operation. So I think the fact that it was an unmanned capability is kind of a signal from Beijing, or at least a desire to keep things relatively stable. So based on what we've seen before, the PLA kind of likes to take it one step at a time. I think it's highly likely that we'll see more drone circumnavigations, and then in the long run, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a manned aircraft circumnavigation, either special mission support or fighter aircraft.
That was Ben Lewis, a defense analyst based in Washington, D.C., speaking to Jaime Ocon. Video has emerged of a Chinese Coast Guard ship blocking a Philippine patrol vessel. The two ships nearly collided in disputed waters in the South China Sea on Monday. The Philippines says it was carrying out a routine patrol, but China says the area is part of its territory. This comes as the Philippines and the United States are wrapping up their largest ever joint military exercise. A small group of international journalists were on board the Philippine vessel during the incident. Officials told them not to immediately report on the trip for security reasons. The US has labeled Taiwan a hub for illegal video streaming. A new report says apps, web portals, and cable boxes that can unlock copyrighted content are all a problem. Economy Minister Wang Meihua has promised government action. Trade analysts worry digital piracy will get in the way of Taiwan's goal of signing trade deals with the U.S.
列为观察名单，都短时间不会就是说受到美国的贸易制裁啦，所以这部分我们现在被提及，大概就是被提醒的意味比较浓厚，它能够衍生成为一个 BTA 甚至 FTA 啦，那所以说这一部分我相信政府会有一些比较具体的作为才对。
Taiwan is offering 20,000 workers incentives through a new subsidy program. The government hopes it will get more people into the workforce. However, not everyone is convinced by the idea. Bing Wang reports.
Taiwan's workforce is getting a boost. The Labor Ministry has pledged $32.5 million to help ease the labor shortage post-pandemic. The program hopes to recruit 20,000 workers by paying them directly, giving workers under the age of 45 an extra $200 per month, while those aged 45 to 65 will receive an extra $325 monthly. The program will last for 1 year. The government will also provide subsidies for companies to train new workers. Subsidies will also go towards upgrading equipment, providing for safer working environments. But there are those who feel this won't provide a permanent solution to the country's labor shortage.
本来假设这个雇主本来给我3万，那你雇政府就给我加了1万，所以4万块，那我愿意进来。所以等到补贴期满的时候，如果雇主在这段时间没给我加薪，那我就回到3万，那我可能又离开了，会变成短期的效果。
The government insists the plan will work and get older people back into the workforce. Taiwan's economy has contracted for the 5th straight month. The government attributes that to a decrease in global demand of goods and a lack of workers. Officials hope their planned subsidies will help people find jobs and lift the economy. Klein Wang and Bing Wang for TaiwanPlus.
Consumer confidence in Taiwan fell slightly in April. The drop followed 3 straight months of growing confidence. Taiwan's Consumer Confidence Index is compiled by National Central University. It measures people's outlook on things like buying stocks, job prospects, and general economic conditions. The university says confidence dropped this month because of higher interest rates and increased electricity prices. Former President Ma Ying-jeou will visit Ireland in July. Ma has been invited to speak on the topic of women's rights at the Subsidy International Convention in Dublin. The annual event brings together volunteers from all over the world working to empower women and girls. The head of Ma's foundation told TaiwanPlus why he thinks the former president is a good choice for speaker at the convention.
那马前总统是这几任总统之中最重视妇女权益的，包含这个联合国2公约的实施，以及对这个慰安妇议题长期的关注。
Taiwan has a new equestrian champion. Riding a horse is never easy, but for Wu Lingkai, it was made even more difficult by her hearing impairment. Leslie Liao has more.
At 152 centimeters tall, Wu Lingkai needs a little help getting on her horse. But once she's up there, she's off to the races. Horse riding is second nature to her. She can gallop, trot, and traverse obstacles with confidence and ease. She makes it look easy now, but Wu struggled when she first learned to ride. She has had a hearing impairment from a young age.
我耳朵听不到，不太自信。然后有一个马术带给我一个自信的擅长，可以站在舞台上面，这一方面会比较自信。
Wu got a hearing implant when she was 2 years old. Her disability affected her sense of balance. Wu's grandmother read online that horseback riding can help with this, so she signed her granddaughter up for classes. Keeping her balance wasn't the only challenge Wu faced as she learned to ride. Her hearing impairment also meant she couldn't anticipate sounds that might scare her horse.
因为像敲打声，我们自己人还没有听到，但是马听到，它已经惊吓到你，人会掉下来。但是如果敲打声，我们已经听到了，马也听到，我们可以去控制它，不要掉下来。
Despite the challenges, Wu didn't give up on riding. Instead, she found new ways to communicate with her horse. When she was in the 6th grade, she decided to commit herself to equestrian sports. Wu is now in the 9th grade. She travels between Yilan County in eastern Taiwan and New Taipei City 4 times a week to work with her coach.
有时候刚来的时候，他都不回答、不讲话。后来才知道他耳朵不好，后来戴了助听器，跟他讲话。老师教他的时候，刚开始的时候，他都不会回答。
Wu's coach speaks to her through a device that feeds directly into her implant. That's how she receives feedback from him. Her hard work and dedication are paying off. Recently, she won a national equestrian competition, beating out other junior high schoolers in her category. What started out as a way for Wu to manage her hearing difficulties has now become her passion. Patrick Sun and Leslie Liao for TaiwanPlus.
Dozens of giant tortoises have been released in the Galapagos Islands. The tortoises had all been raised in captivity in Ecuador. They were cleared of parasites and microchips before release on Hispaniola Island. Another 250 will be released once they're grown. Galapagos tortoises are threatened, but conservationists have managed to breed about 3,000 of them over the past 5 decades. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, we leave you with images of a moose sneaking into a movie theater in Alaska to snack on popcorn and candy. I'm Sandy Chi. Take care and see you next time.